Hey, Awesomes. How's it going? Hope you're having a good weekend. I don't know if you still consider Monday part of the weekend since it is Halloween, so happy Halloween. If you celebrated Halloween over the weekend, I hope it was fun. Hope you enjoyed yourself. So here we are in week 10. We've just completed the literature review, which will make a reappearance in the research argument, or excuse me, our research proposal, which kind of has an argument in it, if you will. So I kind of wanted to review what we're doing this week and talk about what's coming up. Of course, hope you got my message. If you're wondering about the due dates for upcoming assignments, I sent out an announcement concerning those last, I think it was Friday. So I pushed everything back a week to give us a little bit more time. And as you probably noted in the announcement, I had noticed that there were that the date for Project 4 coming in was over Thanksgiving, and I thought that was kind of a not good. So I changed all that. So I hope that that's doable for you. Gives you an extra week, and then kind of frees up your Thanksgiving weekend, so you're not trying to finish up a research proposal while in the midst of eating turkey. So and spending time with family and whatever it is that you do. So. So let's continue. Let's get right to it here today. I'm going to minimize, and I'm here on our week 10 activities for this week. So this week's big concentration is getting our introductions done to Project 4. So we're going to kind of break that down. I like to kind of break this this part of the assignment down into a little bit more manageable chunks. It is a big project. We need to write an introduction that's then going to set up the literature review we just wrote. And then with those literature reviews, we may need to, some of our literature reviews, of course I haven't looked at them yet, some of the literature reviews may have like an introduction already to the literature review, and so by and large maybe those introductions to the literature review may need to be cut down or deleted completely, and just bring in the meat and potatoes of the literature review as your introduction that you have for Project 4 is going to kind of set up the literature review, if you will. So, watch the week 10 video while you're doing it. And then read the following. Student sample text, link below, which we're going to pull up here in a second. Introduction to the CARS method, which is CARS stands for Create a Research Space. And then the Wordsworth Guide, Chapter 3, Writing a Research Proposal, is a really, really, really good resource for writing a research proposal. And then Write Blog 7 will be our final, kind of what we're going to end up this week. And that is, Blog 7 is asking you to craft your introduction to Project 4. Thus creating your research space through this introduction that then segues nicely into your literature review. Okay? All right, so, so let's do two things. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the Purdue OWL. If you'll click on that link that was just there for the CARS creating a research space, it will bring you to the Purdue OWL. And so what this basically does, this is based on Swale's model of creating a research space. He's got three moves that he kind of articulates that are kind of important. One is establishing a territory. You can establish a niche, and you can occupy a niche. So the sample that we're going to look at does the first one, which is establishing a territory. So in the introduction to this particular, now this is the CARS model for introductions, very specifically. It's not the entire paper. This is just to create a research space in your introduction to establish that territory or your niche, or to occupy that niche in your introduction. So this specifically, the one we're going to look at, step 1 is claiming importance. Step 2 is also making topic generalizations and kind of reviewing items of previous research to then segue into the actual literature behind those. So you're going to kind of maybe kind of have a twofer there in a way. So read this. You may feel like you want to establish a niche a little bit, where you're going to participate in a conversation where there seems to be maybe a lot of claiming and counterclaiming, and so maybe you want to, that's how you're going to enter the conversation. And then perhaps you want to occupy a niche, maybe it's a new niche perhaps, so you want to outline your purposes, announce some present research and those principal findings, and then indicate how you're going to structure your research that's coming. So this is going to be something that's going to be a little bit more new. I doubt very many of you will have move number 3. But if you see that that has potentiality for you, then please do use that. All right, so let's go over to the student sample. This is down on the folder there on the week 10 weekly assignments and schedule. So the first sentence here says, teachers employed in schools are leaving the profession at disproportionate rates. As the previous generation of teachers are leaving the field through retirement, there is a need to replace them with qualified teachers. So automatically, we have the student is starting to establish importance for what's coming next, right? So, and then he kind of sets up the remainder kind of tongue. And you'll notice that even in this introduction, he's bringing in a lot of the literature. He's bringing in a lot of things that are going to support the claims that he's making. Because while you establish importance, it's one thing to just say this is important. It's another thing to say this is important, and here are some people who are also saying that it's important. So when you're when you're creating your research space, it's important to continue. Even in your introduction and research proposal, it should be very, very source heavy, as you can see right here. So he establishes the ideas by enrolling new teachers in this last sentence, and then segueing nice into, now we're going to talk about the research, right? So let's go back real quick. Right, so here we have claiming importance, right, making topic generalizations, which he did both in his first paragraph, and then step 3 is reviewing items of previous research. So in other words, to help him establish this territory, he's going to bring in previous specific research. And so he says research has found that mentor programs work to reduce attrition rates for teachers that participate, but there isn't a singular program to address all the challenges new teachers effectively. So we have this setup here of research is found, so he's going to kind of go through and bring in some of that research. And he's talking very specifically about programs, right, because he referenced programs in his first sentence there in the second paragraph. And he's kind of overall talking about why there's a situation where teachers are leaving the field. And so research has done this thing to figure this out. And so you can see that as he establishes his niche, and then after a couple paragraphs of that, he then sets up this paragraph right here, which needs to be indented. In my research, I will examine the challenges novice educators face. All right, so he's going to do this examination, and then understanding the methods employed is a part of it. And then he finally says, this study proposes to research the potential of a mentoring program. So he is establishing this territory, and kind of in a way he's almost setting up a little bit of this gap or this niche, right, to show how he's then going to proceed. So please read this really closely to kind of give yourself an idea, and then you can see here in the sample as you read it more. I really want you to focus on introductions, but if you want to kind of look down to see how it segues into the literature review, you can see where the differentiation between using literature, using sources in your introduction versus using sources in your literature review. Okay, so let's go back to this week's activities. All right, so student sample text, read that closer. Introduction, read the CARS thing on the Purdue Lab website. Wadsworth Guide, Chapter 3, writing a research proposal. And then setting all this up, the big goal this week is to write Log 7 by Sunday night, draft of Project 4 introduction. Just your introduction. It should probably be at least 2.5 pages. Set up your introduction, and then we will talk about next week about how to integrate our literature reviews. Okay, so we put me back here in the center here. All right, guys, you guys doing a wonderful job. Just kind of quick follow-up. Please review the announcement the other day about the new due dates. If you have any questions about those, please let me know. Secondly, please make sure that you are staying on top of all the assignments. And just to address that, what that basically means is if you turn in all the blogs every single week and the other assignments that you're doing, you basically are putting together your invention portfolio, so you don't have to turn in extra things when the final project is due. So if you're doing those every single week, you're all set, you're good. And lastly, I will do my best this week. I probably will not be able to start on them until at least Thursday, maybe Friday. I'm going to try to sooner if possible get your literature reviews graded. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try to squeeze in over the next 2 or 3 days, is to respond to the blog assignment that you did, which was kind of showing about how you're going to then segue into Project 4. And so those are kind of a little bit more time sensitive, so I can get some information back to you as soon as possible because they apply to Project 4. All right, so I'll get those done as soon as possible. All right, guys, gals, have a great week. If there's anything I can do for you, please do let me know. Happy Halloween. Bye.